Hey, Carly.
Hey Wade, what are we going to talk about today?
Today, we're going to dive into conditionals in Python, which is something we're already familiar with because we have done conditionals when we've thought about data frames and how we can subset data within a data frame. But now we're going to do conditionals within the Python programming language. And this allows us more expression when we're writing simulations. So a conditional is just another control flow statement that allows us to adjust the control of a program based on the value of a variable. So if I think about a simple conditional, I can think about a number, and I might say the number is just num. And I can say the num is random.rand int 1, 6. And then because I'm using the random library, I'm going to go ahead and say import random. And num is going to be a value between 1 and 6. So I'm going to go ahead and say print num, just so we can see exactly what the computer's doing when we're creating a random number num. And then now I want to introduce the idea that my favorite number is 3.
That's what I got. 3.
Awesome. So I want to basically have a celebration when I get the number 3. So I can say if, and this is the conditional statement, num is double equals, because this is a conditional, so we're going to use the same idea of conditionals that you know about already, where double equals means the value inside number is exactly equal to 3. And because 3 is just a number, we don't need quotes. And then if that's the case, I will print out yay.
And celebrate. This is a colon?
And this is a colon, yes. So this is a control flow statement. So what this means is this control flow statement ends with a colon, and then everything after this colon that we want it to run only when the condition is true, we need to indent after the colon.
Got it.
So this is going to control the flow of the Python program. If this statement is true, then we're going to run the indented code. So if we run this, I suspect that the first time we run this, there's only a small chance that we're going to see yay. So what do we see?
We see 2, yes.
2, and did we print out yay?
No.
So we have this yay statement in the code, but it didn't print out because the condition wasn't met. So let's run this a few more times until we get yay.
So I got 5, 5 again, 4.
And what Carly's doing is she's simply selecting
6.
the cell again and again and pressing Shift Enter to actually run this code.
2, 1, 2.
So we're getting it's getting increasingly
3,
rare.
yay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so there's a 1/6 chance that we're going to get a 3.
And every single time it's that 1/6 roll again.
Yes,
so
these
just
are
like
independent events.
just like rolling this dice. So we got this yay out when we got to a value of 3, and we saw now we print out 2 lines of code. So we have a different control flow of our program when num is equal to 3 and when num is not equal to 3. There's a useful other situation where we can also say what happens when we don't get this result. If the condition's not true, then we can actually fall into a second control flow block called an else statement. So if I write the word else, non-indented, after an if control block, then I can have any amount of code inside of another indented block that runs when the if statement is not true. So if the number is 3, we print out yay. Otherwise, I'm going to say print nope. And then I'm going to actually do 2 lines of code here. I'll print nope and a sad face, colon parentheses, to say that nope, this was not the result. It is not my favorite number. And because both of these lines are indented after my else block, I should see both of these lines run only when the condition's not true. So if we have all this program that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of code, if we run this program, we expect to see, if the number's 3, a yay, and every other result should see a nope and a sad face.
I got the number 3 yay just now. 4, nope, sad face.
Awesome. So we see that the flow of the program actually varies based off of the conditional. So this is going to be really vital anytime we want to have a different result based on some value. And we can think about this as being particularly important when we start to write a simulation. Because in a simulation, there may be some conditional events where only once event 1 happens, will event 2 happen. So if statements allow us to apply a condition to a simulation. And we're going to nerd out with different examples where we need these conditions so that we can do a proper simulation. Where, for example, in a game of tic-tac-toe, one condition that we might want to think about is if we have some results on this board already, we cannot make a valid move where there's already a X or an O. So a condition we might have is checking whether or not there's already something filled in that board. So then our probability can't simply be choose any value, but it's choose any blank value.
That sounds great. Another thing we're going to look at is gambling games like roulette, where if you get red and you're betting on red, you're going to win. And if you don't, you're going to lose. So this is going to come in handy a lot throughout this series.
Awesome.